This was going to be my one and only long, intensive trip of the 2022 season. 7 days solo in Algonquin Park. I sent my dog Elo on vacation to my parents' house. This week was going to be for me and me alone. My route would start from Kiosk and go through White Birch, Mouse, Erables, and Maple before going back to Kiosk. The park looked quiet, the weather looked fantastic, and I was itching to get out and explore the backcountry. It's the morning of day 4 right now. I am on Mouse Lake. It's 6:30 a.m. and I literally just woke up. I'm on the northernmost campsite, the first one on the left when coming from the club portage. And it has a huge beach that just has a wide, expansive view over Mouse Lake. So there's a fire pit on the beach, so I made a fire at the fire pit on the beach and sat there for like 2 hours until 10:30. The moon was bright and glowing and just right in view, and it was just really, really pretty. So I did that, sat there till 10:30, fell asleep by 11, which is pretty late for me. And I actually got a good sleep, which I'm really happy about. I'm tired, but I feel well rested. My body's sore from all the portaging and paddling of the past few days, but today's going to be my hardest day, I think. I've got a 1.7, a short, like 200, and then a 1.4 to get from here to Erables. So it's my longest portages of the trip, and with double carrying, it's like 10K today. Probably get out of the tent soon. It's very, very cold. Probably just a couple degrees above zero, so I'm procrastinating getting out of the sleeping bag. But I should get up, pack, have something to eat. Do I look tired? Because I'm very tired. Do I sound tired? I'm very tired. Another day, another freezing cold, foggy morning, and cannot see the water. It was like this yesterday as well. This is the campsite. Got my tent there, some big rocks there, fire pit and seating here. I've got my barrel hung. You know, they always say not to do it right close to the campsite, but when you find a perfect branch like that, I'd rather take a perfect hang. Yeah, I didn't use this fire pit. I used the one on the beach last night, so I didn't really even use this campsite at all, other than to come to my tent to sleep. Otherwise, the whole time I was just at the beach. Yeah, I'm gonna get the barrel down and have something to eat. Good morning on day 4. I'm just doing the 1700 meter from Mouse Lake to Mink Creek. It's my longest portage of the trip, and I didn't realize until this morning, I never looked at the details, but it's a 65 meter climb to the highest point in the portage, which is quite the climb, and I am currently doing it, which is why I'm out of breath. I got a much later start on the day than planned. It's now about 10 o'clock, portaging into Mink Creek. Today is for sure the day I'm looking forward to the least, just because of the long portages, and it's the most portaging. Maple Creek might be difficult, and there are 6 portages that day, but at least 9 of them are over a kilometer long. I'll be happy once these portages are done and out of the way today, because now I've got 3 really easy days. I'm planning 2 days on Erables, so 1 rest day, and then 1 night on Maple, and there's only a 170 meter portage between the 2, so basically the next 3 days should be a breeze if I can make it through the portages today. And I'm clearly way too out of breath doing this climb to continue talking to the camera, so I'm going to focus on portaging. GoPro, stop recording. Okay. So I'll give you guys a bit of a longer update right now on the day, and then give you a tour of the campsite, and then I'm going to make some dinner. So I woke up, it was freezing cold on Mouse Lake, but it was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous view from the beach campsite. The fog was clearing and the sun was lighting up the shoreline. It was such a gorgeous morning. So I got on the water at like 9:30, paddled over to the first portage. First portage was the longest of the trip, and it had some ups and downs, and it definitely wasn't easy, but it was nothing too difficult. The landings were good on either end, and yeah, it was a pretty portage. So then I did my last portage of the day, the 1460, into Erables, where I'd be camping. Yeah, then I hit the water. Finally, for the first time all trip, I had a tailwind on Erables, so I just let the wind kind of push me towards my campsite, and I took the island. There's 2 island campsites beside each other. I took the one that faces west, and that's where I am now. I've just relaxed here all day. I've tried to stay out of the sun for the most part. I got a ton of sun yesterday, and it's supposed to be sunny for the next few days, so I decided just to kind of take it easy today. I've been relaxing at the campsite, went for a walk, checked out the other site, which is super close. I walked to the other end of the island, which it's all closed off, there's no opening, but there's tons of firewood. That's the update for the day. My plan for the rest of the evening is I'm going to make dinner soon, probably go for a swim if I'm still as hot as I am now. I broke down my firewood already, there's a little bit more that I can do, just dinner and paddle. I'll probably go to the closest campsites here and check them out, do some campsite reports. I'll probably get on the water and stay on the water until after sunset. So I'll make dinner first, change into my evening clothes, and then just go out for a long 1 or 2 hour paddle. Yeah, I'll show you the campsite. So this is the canoe landing and swimming area and stargazing area and sunbathing area. Some open rocks which lead up here. I just got my canoe stored here. I didn't want to leave it on the rocks. It's a little bit windy out. So the island is very narrow, so it's kind of on a point. The fire pit is right in front of the water. It's got some seating, which is actually pretty sturdy. I don't know if that lashing is necessary, but I rearranged the fire pit a little bit just to clean it up and open it up. It had all that crap in it and the rocks weren't in the best order, so newly built fire pit, some more seating. Here's my wood for the evening. We've got some larger split pieces, even though they're not too large. Other pieces to pop on by the handful, and smaller to get it started. And I grabbed that, which I'll break down a little bit later. So this will be enough for tonight. Maybe I'll have some left over for the morning, but unlikely. I should probably collect a little bit more because it would be nice to have a fire in the morning. Yes, that's the seating. And then behind is the rest of the campsite. So I'll show you like this. There's a couple tent spots. There's one that you could do here. It's a bit sloped, so I'm just using it for my gear instead. There's this one, which is also pretty sloped, but like most of the tent spots I end up choosing, it's perfect for 1 or 2 people, like flatness. So for my 2-person tent, it's fine. But for bigger tents, there's some more options a little further inland. There's one option right here. You can see it looks like someone has had a tent here relatively recently. And then there's one more big option right here. They're all kind of sloped though. They're not, none of them are perfectly flat. And yeah, I just typically don't like pitching my tent near trails, just in case wildlife tends to walk through. It's happened to me before where moose has walked through the campsite overnight. I don't think anyone's going to be visiting this island, but and then there's the marker for the thunder box, which is just a little bit further that way. And the second campsite is very close there. That's the campsite. It's pretty nice, pretty solid. It's nothing amazing. For me, solo for 2 nights here, it's perfect. It'll do the trick. I have a flat tent spot. It's in an exposed area, but I'm supposed to have good weather, so I'm not too concerned about any of the exposure that it has. The fire pit is nice. It's well built. Good seating around it. The front of the campsite's open, exposed, and faces west for sunset. Yeah, it's pretty much has everything. It's just not too big, but can't complain. And one more thing is it has this sitting rock to enjoy the sunrise and morning sun. It has a nice panoramic view all around Erables. So that's the way I came. And then that's facing west, sunset. morning. It's morning of day 5, I think it is. Kiosk, White Birch, Mouse, Erables. Yeah, so 4 nights. So morning of day 5. Yeah, I'm on Erables Lake on my island campsite. It is 6:15. I just woke up, got out of the tent, saw that it was a pretty start to a sunrise. The light is starting to come up above the shoreline on the east. And yeah, it's cold, but it's definitely not as cold as the past few mornings. So it's nice enough that I'm just outside. I set up a couple cameras, my GoPro and my Canon RF. And I'm just going to kind of hang out outside for a little bit and watch the sunrise. Probably have a quick bite to eat and then go back in the tent and go back to sleep. But anyways, I'll show you what's going on the water. I've got my Canon and my GoPro. I'm just finishing up paddling throughout Erables Lake. I left my campsite just after 11 and it's now close to 2. So I very slowly just went to all of the other campsites. The lake is completely empty, so I was able to check them all out. Spent some time at each one, had some snacks, sat down, I wrote the campsite reports pretty much on the go. So I'm going to get back to paddling right now. The reason I'm not wearing my PFP is because I'm staying very close to shore, and the water is dead calm. It's like a windless, cloudless day. It's just pure sun heat. Yeah, I feel zero concern about my safety. The water's not even that cold. If I did tip, I would just swim to shore, and I'm right by shore. So normally I like to wear my PFD, as you can see from all my videos, but certain times I decide that I'm okay without it. It is required to have one in the boat, so I do have it right behind me, but it is not required to wear it, even though you should. I think I gave an update to the camera that at like 6:15, 6:30 that I was gonna like take a pee and go back to bed for a bit, but the sunrise ended up just being like spectacular, so beautiful. So I ended up just staying up. I watched the sunrise. I went for some paddles, and then I think it was at like 9:30 that I went back in the tent and took a nap. Then after my nap, I got up, got camp organized, had something to eat, and set out on the water at 11:15, just after 11. The plan was just a day trip on Erables and take a look at all the other campsites. And that went well, other than the fact that I felt dead the whole time. You can see I've got some color. I don't think I'm burnt. I think I've just been in the sun way too much. I've been wearing my hat, wearing my sunscreen, drinking enough water, taking all the proper precautions, but when it's 5 days in a row of 30-degree heat, and today there's like not a cloud in the sky, there's no wind, it's just sun beating down. So about halfway through the day trip, when I was done most of the campsites, I realized, yeah, this probably wasn't the smartest choice. I felt fine in the morning, so there's no way of knowing that I would have felt like crap until it happened. I think it's like 2:30. I was gone for about 3 hours total. I really took my time. I wasn't paddling too hard. At the campsites, I wasn't in a rush to take pictures and leave. I kind of spent some time at them. So yeah, the whole thing was like 3 hours. And now I'm back here and just hanging out in the shade. I think I need to avoid the sun for the rest of the day. I think at 6:30, I'll go back in the sun because it won't be as strong, and I'm going to go out paddling and look for some wildlife. So by that point, I'll be done dinner, I'll be done everything, and I'm just going to go out on the water for like an hour and a half or so, and then come back and make a fire. But aside from that, I'm going to stay in the shade for the next few hours. Despite feeling like crap, I'm still very happy to be here. It's such a beautiful day, such a beautiful week. Every day has just been gorgeous. Today's stunning. Erables Lake is super, super pretty. This whole trip, and especially Erables Lake, is the first time in a while that I've really felt wild in Algonquin. I know Algonquin isn't really the most wild park. It's, Toronto's backyard, but still there are certain times where you feel like you're out there. I haven't had any cell service the whole trip. I've seen very few groups the whole time. The campsites have all been very clean and in great condition, which unlike most of my trips in the past few years off Highway 60 where the campsites have been filthy. So yeah, these campsites have been awesome. Yeah, everything about it just makes me feel like I'm on a more rough and wild trip, which it's been a while since I've had that feeling. But I'm also just very appreciative of the fact that I can do this. The fact that I myself am healthy enough to do this solo, and the fact that just this exists. The fact that Algonquin Park exists and is as beautiful as it is something that is not to be taken for granted. How's my messy hair? 5 days without showering. I've gone swimming twice. Yeah, I definitely need to get in the water today, or at least try to, because I feel like that just always makes you feel better when you're feeling drained. So I'll probably go for a swim a little bit later. Break my stay in the shade rule for like 5 minutes. Get in the sun, get in the water, back in the shade. That's the update. I'll probably do a little bit more filming with my downtime. And hopefully it's a nice evening. I'm about to make myself some dinner, so I thought I'd give you guys a barrel tour. So start at the bottom. The bottom is always my pots and pans. And what I do with this, there's 2 of them that are stacked inside each other. And in the smaller one is hand towel and hand sanitizer, lighter, aqua tabs, and bug spray. This is all, call it emergency, waterproofed emergency. Never to be used unless needed. Just backup of everything. Some of them, it's like aqua tabs is my 3rd place. Lighter's the 3rd place that I have one. Yeah, so just backup emergency. Foil, I bring the gas stove. It's folded up in here. It's a cheap one off Amazon, but it does the trick. I think it was like 20 bucks for 2 of them or something. It unfolds. I can show you that when I cook. And then attached to this, I brought 2 because one of them was half empty. I finished it 2 nights ago, so now I'm on the full one. So that's cooking. This for measuring. Sometimes I bring coffee. I didn't even bring coffee with me this trip, so it was pretty much just wasted space. I just filled it with some food to save a bit of space. This is my utensil bag. In here, I've got spoon, fork, knife, scissors. I have toothbrush and toothpaste. I have a tiny container of the camp suds. I'll put it into my own small container. I have a lighter, pot gripper, and just some toilet paper. So just if I need to dry something or whatever and that's not accessible, just, yeah, and lip balm. When you're tripping in the fall and you're paddling in windy days, lip balm is a lifesaver. Okay, so that's my utensil bag. Now onto the food. Bagels. It's a complete waste of space in terms of, density of food and calories and protein and everything you need. But if I can fit them, I will. So I brought 6 with me on this trip. I have 2 remaining. I'll probably have 1 tonight and 1 tomorrow. Whiskey, of course, staple. And when you're solo, if anyone knows that reference, I would love it if you let me know, because I don't think anyone will. Anyway, so whiskey, sometimes I'll bring 2 flasks. So this time I only brought 1 flask. Cereal. This is a high protein Vector cereal. First time I'm trying it. Basically just tastes like French Toast Crunch. If I did a blind taste test, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Then again, it's been probably 15 years since I've had French Toast Crunch, so who knows what my memory of that is like. Bear Paw, mix of banana bread and brownie. This is usually just for when I run out of my fresh banana bread, because I love the fresh very much, and when it's done, this is at least, not as good, but something close. Speaking of which, here's the banana bread. I slice it before I leave, and I individually package them. That way I can just bring them out as day snacks or whatever it is. So I think this time I brought 1.5 loaves, which I cut into a total of 12 portions, I believe it was. So I've got 3 portions remaining. No explanation needed. Staple. I brought a little tub of Nutella, and I brought one of peanut butter. There's about 50 to 60 grams in here, so it's about 300 calories per tub, roughly. So yeah, the peanut butter one I had, the Nutella I am yet to have. Maybe I'll put it on a bagel. Maybe I'll just eat it with a spoon. Trail mix. I forget what it was. I think 200 grams or 250 grams total. This is what's remaining on day 5. Candy, same thing. I think it was 200 or 250 grams. This is what's remaining on day 5. Larabars. There's 2 different types. There's the trail mix type Larabar, and then there's the more traditional one, and I have the peanut butter chocolate chip flavor. And again, I brought, I think, 10 of them total. And in here right now, I just have my day snacks for tomorrow. I usually tend to prepare the night before just my day snacks for the next day, something small that I can keep in my pocket. So the candy I'll portion into a smaller bag. The trail mix I'll portion into a smaller bag because I bring it all in a massive bag. So just these I can keep in my pocket along with Larabar. So those 3 things I'll bring with me. I only have an hour and a half of travels tomorrow, but those will just stay in my pocket and they'll be on-the-go snacks. And then dehydrated meals. I usually bring 1 per night. This is what I'm going to make tonight. Chili mac with beef. I've never tried Mountain House before, so it'll be my first time. And I've got a few more in here. I've got Backpacker's Pantry, Alpine Air. So when I load the barrel, I usually do the pot and pan, the bottom circular, the dehydrated meals around the perimeter, and then in all the little crevices that are created in the little pockets, I stuff down all the other stuff. And then just try and Tetris my way through. Because I put the pots and pans at the bottom, everything pretty much gets unpacked and repacked every time, but it's a pretty quick procedure. Anyways, I'm gonna go make some dinner, and then afterwards I'll break down this firewood.